one last time. I can feel that power in my hands. Beat of the drums rushing through my skin.
After landing the treble last season, the Riders have had a target on their back. The Lions have taken their cup title, and now London's sights are set on the league. So, can the Riders stall the victory march tonight?
McKenzie gets to the rim and one. What a bucket that is from Sam Decker. He takes the shot and knocks it down. Nelson, tough shot. Oh!
We're in Leicester's Morningside Arena for the next instalment of what's becoming the big rivalry in the BBL. The Riders host the Lions as the title race hots up. Good to have you with us here in Leicester for Friday night basketball. Drew Lasker, Kieran Achara, present and correct. Great to see you both. Now, Drew, I'm not trying to get you in trouble straight off the bat, but that title race I was just talking about, it's a two-horse race, isn't it, with respect to Bristol between these two teams tonight?
Wow, I just got back into Flyers good books, but if you're speaking from an experience perspective, you got me, because this is uncharted territory for them, because we know on the other hand with the Riders, this is what they do. They win titles, and we know the London Lions have already won the Cup.
Well, and the Lions have got a dominant lead in the league as well, 8 points. So does that make tonight a must-win game for Leicester?
You know what, I'm sure Rob Paternoster will be saying otherwise, but for me, definitely. You know, they've already won 2. They would have the tiebreaker definitely clinched if they won this tonight, London Lions. So, yeah, I think it's a big one for the Leicester Riders.
Drew referred to the winning mentality that we've seen year in, year out here in Leicester. So how is Rob Paternoster and this iteration of the Riders coping with the underdog status?
I think he's thriving in it. I think they're kind of going under the radar. They're building momentum. You know, they've had a lot of changes through their team. Starting to find, playing their better basketball at the end of the season. So that's the aim. They're still going to go in the right direction. But I feel that Rob thrives off it. There's motivation there.
As if he needs more locker room material.
Yeah.
More material. That is it. Well, it is a tall order, I think it's fair to say, even for a coach as terrific as Rob Paternoster and a very strong Riders side, because they're 4 wins behind the Lions. The Flyers, they're occupying second right now, courtesy of their excellent 18-7 record, but they've played 3 more games than both their rivals. The Gladiators, Kieran Achara putting a smile on his face because they are rolling. They've won their last 4. They sit in 4th place. Congratulations as well to Gareth Murray, Coach of the Month, the Kevin Cadle Coach of the Month announced today. So congratulations to him. The Giants, well, they've added Cozy Josephs to their roster this week. They're going to be dangerous in the playoffs, aren't they? Cheshire, they look good for a playoff berth as well, which means it is likely 3-2 between Plymouth, Sheffield and Newcastle. The Eagles out of the playoff race right now, but with games in hand on their rivals. And it's fair to say the good news keeps on coming for the Gladiators into the BBL Trophy Final. How about that after a hard-fought win on the road to NBL side the Derby Trailblazers? They did make it easy for them. The second semi between the holders Cheshire and the struggling Sheffield Sharks on Sunday. Even money. We're going to see our very own Mike Tuck, Sharks legend, on hand with that one, suitably animated, I'm sure. That game being played on Sunday. Kieran, what a win for your team. And, of course, home court advantage now in the final.
In Glasgow, right now, we've been in the finals numerous times, so my fingers are definitely crossed for the Gladiators. But playing in Glasgow in front of a home crowd, great opportunity.
No excuses.
Certainly is a great opportunity, and indeed, of course, for Cheshire to retain their trophy in Sheffield. They are all gunning for silverware, but of course, the first piece of silverware of the season already settled in a game between these two a month back. Leicester Riders continue their perennial quest against the star-studded London Lions. It is bound to be a compelling chapter in what is fast developing into the league's big rivalry.
McKenzie using his speed to get all the way to the rim. What a take from Kimball McKenzie. best, mid-range, knocks it down. Taylor drives in, great pass. London trying to shut the door on Leicester here in the third quarter. Nelson, tough shot. Oh, Luke Nelson for 3. McKenzie gets to the rim and one.
You can see now the momentum of the game starting to switch a bit.
Whelan in the corner for 3, and he knocks it down.
And what we have to look out for, and who has enough gas left in the tank.
There's Nelson Henry again on the glass with the putback. It's a 4-point game. Decker mid-range, and he is the get-out-of-jail-free card for London. Here's Decker. Decker along the baseline with the exclamation point jam. And the London Lions, they have their first trophy of the season in the bag. London Lions are the 2023 BBL Cup champions.
What a great day that was for British basketball. A great day for the Lions, and in particular Sam Decker, who grabbed the game, Drew, by the scruff of the neck when the Lions needed him most.
Yeah, when you're on that stage and you get to the game and it's nip it tuck and it's the nitty-gritty, it's not about X's and O's, it's about talent, and Sam Decker was that. He's the get-out-of-jail-free card, as Dan described, and he bailed London out late to propel them to a championship.
Because the Riders clawed their way back into that one, of course, and really narrowed the deficit. In the end, Decker was the difference. Let's concentrate our attention now in a little bit more detail on both teams tonight. We'll start with the Riders, Kieran, and in particular looking at their roster. When we talk about Leicester in recent years, we always talk about strength and depth, right? We always talk about the strength with their bench. If you compare these two, top 2 title contenders, in that particular aspect, take the starting fives out and look at their strength and depth and their bench strength, how do they match up?
You know what, they're crawling their way back in there. You know, I was looking at the roster today. London Lions have like 8 players out injured. You know, so Leicester, they're doing a job. The players know their roles and they're stepping up. Carrington Love coming off the bench, bringing an extra bit of energy as well. So I think they stack up really well at this moment in time.
Let's take a look at their newest recruit, Carrington Love, the floor general, easing his way into life in the BBL. What have you made of his first month, Drew?
Well, he mentioned to me earlier in the week, the last time we saw him, he wasn't in game shape, but he brings strength, toughness, and girth, in particular with his size, on the defensive end, which with the Leicester Riders this season, they've lacked a little bit. So I look for them to get strong on that side of the ball with his presence.
All right, let's take a look at the London roster. As Kieran alluded to, change from the one we saw at the start of the season. Of course, that is true with every BBL team, but there are some interesting movements, including Costa Koufos, former NBA star. He's going to be playing only in Europe now for the rest of the season. Surprised at that move, Kieran?
I was rather surprised. You know, he brings a lot of experience, you know, a little bit of calmness to the team, but as we say, they're such a depth squad.
Plenty of stars. You're seeing many of them rolling across the screen. A lot of them, of course, have had significant experience in Europe, and that is one of the fronts that London are battling on this season. And speaking of a player that's had experience in both the NBA and in Europe, Sam Decker, who, as we've just seen, shone in the Cup final. What did the Riders need to do differently tonight, Kieran, that they ultimately failed to do in Birmingham? What were Rob Nostro hoping to see from his players in terms of containing Decker defensively?
You know what? He made so many tough shots. I don't think there's a lot more they can do. They can just hope that those shots don't go in.
All right then, both the coaches in the building, of course, well before proceeding start here in Leicester. We have kept Drew busy, of course, as we always do on this show. He caught up with both Coach Schmidt, Coach Paternostro, a little bit earlier on.
Coach, 14 games left in the league. Still a lot to play for?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. You play right to the end. I think it's important that, you keep going and keep getting better. I think for us, I love the way we've been playing. You know, obviously we had the little hiccup in the trophy, but in league play, I think we've won 14 out of our last 17 in a tough league, and I think that, we can keep getting better. And I think, if we're healthy, I really like our chances going forward.
Speaking of health, how is Carrington Love fitting in?
Really well. Yeah, really well. I think on and off the court, I thought last weekend was his best weekend of play. A couple weekends ago, the last 2 games we played, he is a guy that plays both ends of the floor, both offense and defense. And I think his playmaking has really helped us out, especially in transition. He does a great job of pushing the ball. He does a great job finding his teammates.
0-3 against the Lions. What are the adjustments tonight?
Make more shots, to be honest. I think when you look at it, we've been disappointed that, we haven't, scored the ball better. Obviously, they got the best defense in the league, so it's a lot to do with that. But in order to beat this team, we're going to have to play a better offensive game.
And in order to defend your league title, is tonight a must-win for you guys?
Yeah, never like to say that until it's over. But, yeah, we're getting to the stage here with them where, you're going to have to do something now. I think, we're playing at home tonight, so it's a good opportunity for us to play. We haven't spoken about that at all. We're just going to try to put as many wins up on the board and see where we are. Coach,
how important to you personally and as an organization to get that Cup final win over the Riders?
It was huge for us. Obviously, anytime you get a chance to play for a trophy and a championship, middle of the season, again, it was kind of a one thing checked off our list as far as accomplishments for the year. And then for me, it was just a good thing to see us playing really good basketball in the middle of the season, and again, just something to kind of build off of.
Are you beginning to relish this rivalry and the opportunity to play on the big stage?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get a chance to play against a team, Leicester's caliber, their talent, I've said it all season long, they're very well coached and disciplined, and they're fun to watch. You turn on the film, they play the game the right way, in my opinion. I think Rob does an unbelievable job with them on both ends of the court. But again, it's fun because we know we're going to always get their best shot, and the games have kind of, there's been some chippiness to it the last few ones, so wouldn't expect anything less tonight.
And you guys are both balancing two schedules. Is the league title now your focus, or is there more weight on European success?
To be honest with you, I wouldn't say we're prioritizing any one in particular right now. I think just the month of March we've talked about for the last few months leading up to this, as far as playing our best basketball, in March and April and heading into May, just because we know how important games are for both competitions. So I wouldn't say one's more important than the other. It's just they're going to come fast and furious, but we're just trying to play as well as we can this month.
And what are the challenges that you guys will face during this final stretch?
A lot of games. I think a lot of games, and I think we're going to continue to get everyone's best shot, because now it's, people are, fighting for playoff positioning. The league hasn't been won yet. There's a lot of games in March for a lot of teams in this league. So again, I think just the balance with the travel, the amount of games, trying to stay healthy, and at the same time trying to play at a high level.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Really interesting point and great question, Drew, asking Coach Schmidt about the focus. Because that was, I guess, the biggest concern for London this season was the fatigue creeping in at this stage of the season, because they're playing in Europe as well. But that doesn't seem to be affecting them too much, does it?
No, not at all. But they have been managing minutes. But, he's talking about this lack of priority. Their priority is Europe. You can see the way they manage the minutes, especially of their star players, to ensure that they're ready to go for those European stages.
Is that because they've got a comfortable lead in the league?
I think it's because they know they don't need as much depth and the players to step up in the league at this moment in time. While the big games like Leicester, Bristol, all guns need to be blazing for that. So it's managing the expectations, but understanding the competition is a lot bit higher in Europe.
Let's take a look at the head-to-heads quickly. I mean, statistically, so close in almost every category. Big scorers, deep benches. I want to key in, Drew, and ask you a question you put to Rob, right? Because 70 points is not going to cut it the way this Lions offense is playing. We know this Riders offense can play against pretty much any other team in the BBL, but as Rob said, they've been struggling against London. What needs to change tonight?
Pace. They must play faster. We saw that in the Cup final when they started to push the ball a little bit. They got some stuff in transition, and when you get easy baskets, you get to the free throw line, it fuels confidence, and then you're able to make those shots.
All right then, 3-0 to the Lions this season. Can the Riders get one on the board and keep this title race interesting? Tip-off coming next.
The rivalry continues. This is Friday Night Basketball on Sky Sports.
could be a key night in determining where the BBL Championship lands this season. It's Riders-Lions, a top-of-the-table showdown, and a top-of-the-table duo to guide you through. Very good evening to Ant Rowe and Dan Rowe.
Good evening, thank you very much, Nat. Yes, when these two teams get together, it's usually a big game. Lions have come out on top every time so far this season, Ant.
And this is a huge matchup as far as they go. This is a heavyweight clash. Riders have to figure out a way here to regain an advantage.
Let's take a look at the starting fives. And Patrick Whelan, who's been out with the toe injury, back in. Him and Jackson, huge for the Riders.
They've been the big players all season. Big positive impact having Whelan back in. Let's see how he fares.
And if we take a look at the London lineup, Miaoni into the starting line. This is his league debut. He's not played a league game despite being with the team since November. And of course, Sharma into the starting lineup.
Miaoni is the guy with 3 years NBA experience with the Utah Jazz. They've been waiting for this opportunity to thrust him into the 5. And Josh Sharma, that 7-foot center, now with a much bigger role in Costa Kuval's absence.
Here we go then. Big crowd at the Morningside Arena. Two top teams going head-to-head. It's Menzies and Sharma to jump it up here in Leicester. And we are underway, and it is the Lions who get the opening possession. The league leaders, the heavy title favourites. Leicester really must win to have any chance of keeping their hopes alive of retaining that title. Oni lobs it up, but deflected by Menzies. McKenzie pinned to the glass by Oni.
Wow, two big defensive plays by both teams there. And Mia Oni just coming out of nowhere and swatting the in-form McKenzie's layup.
Here's Sharma losing the handle, but it falls straight to Decker. Taylor around the screen. Steps underneath. Off the mark, Jackson with the rebound.
Well, Jordan Taylor does a good job there. What all point guards should be doing is attacking those zones inside the middle, but doesn't get that shot to go.
Here's Lovett. Out to McKenzie, lobbed it in towards Menzies, and Menzies was claiming he was being held by Sharma, and the referee's not interested in that.
It was the right idea there from McKenzie. I thought it was the wrong execution. Not enough in there for me, for the referee to blow the whistle.
Stolen away by Whelan. Has McKenzie with him. McKenzie to the rim, lays it in through the contact. And the first basket of the game goes to Leicester.
Such a sensible decision there from Kimball McKenzie. Sometimes guards have that tendency to pass the ball a little bit too much when they're in that transition, but Kimball McKenzie goes straight at Taylor there and gets the foul and one.
Well, just named the BBL player of the month for February. And he gets the first 3 points of the game.
That's what you've got to do sometimes as a basketball player. When the luck's in and the form's high, just keep riding that wave. And Kimball McKenzie's wave is rather large right now.
Made his debut for Great Britain as well at the beginning of the week. Here's Taylor, gets London's first score.
See, he did it again. He got into that zone there, that area where the defense is a little bit frail, and this time Taylor converts the jump shot.
McKenzie down to Menzies. Oh, nice step round from Menzies, but it's more for the travel. That will not count.
He seemed to cover a lot of space there, didn't he? When you're 7'3", you take up a lot of space in there, and you can see just the shuffle there of that pivot foot. Good call from the referee.
Well, it did look nice from this angle, but as we saw from the baseline, the correct call by the official. Here's Urban, mid-range, knocks it down.
And that's the worry. Ruban back into the mix here, starting today, and that jump shot is as smooth as you'll see in the British Basketball League.
Loving, back to McKenzie, steps into the three, strings it! Kimball McKenzie with 6 early points.
That's a player high on confidence. As soon as he caught the basketball, he had one thing in his mind, and that was to score the ball from deep, and he executes with perfection.
Oh, Whelan trying to come up with the steal at the other end, and those in the front row got a very close-up look at the number 12.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing, Dan?
Well, they seem pretty happy about it. Only ran the screen, steps into the three, rims out, Menzies with the ball. McKenzie out to Whelan, open for three. That's off the back of the iron. Oni will get to the ball first. Oni pushing, loses it, and Loving says thank you very much.
Oni is someone who's had absolutely no consistent playing time this year, been in and out for injury.
Menzies underneath, and he is fouled by Sharma. That will go to the line for an and-one.
That's a great play. Wyatt's a great player. I really like Kimball McKenzie's trust in the big man. They haven't quite linked up yet. They had a couple turnovers, a bit miscommunication even. But Kimball McKenzie went right back to the big guy, and he's got the play to go.
Can't convert the three-point play, pulled off the rim by Sharma Drew. Good start to the first half for the Leicester Riders here.
Yeah, most definitely, and as expected, this time of year, everybody knows each other's attributes. They know each other's plays. Wow. As Sharma flushes it down, it comes down to players making plays. As you see, 14 of the points so far have come out of sets.
Well, Sharma's attributes are catch and dunk just like that. His Loving for three. That one rims out. Decker with it. Oni again running the floor pass a little in front of him, and he ends up in the front row as well.
Wow, intensity already high. No one's safe in that front row. I might want to try and swap with one of those guys in the back row.
Yeah.
And that turnover there just comes from lack of consistency playing with one another. How many times has Decker made that pass to Oni this year? Very few. So, you know, Oni getting healthy for this final stretch is going to be important for London.
Loving pass just about reaches Jackson, but it's lost in the end. Taylor, nice fake, and lays it in.
That is beautiful, and that's all because Sam Decker ran the floor. Then you run the floor, you're so much more difficult for the defense to stop you.
Whelan looking at the referee for a foul. Nothing doing, his shot is way off the mark. Decker just spinning out of trouble there. Taylor's long rebound comes out to him. Rebound to the finger roll, tosses it over Menzies.
Nice little stretch finger roll there from Ruben. And the game plan is clear from the Leicester Riders. They're not going to let Sam Decker beat them, so the others are going to have to step up tonight.
Jackson goes the opposite way to the screen, all the way to the rim, but denied by Sharma. It comes straight to Loving. Menzies with the offensive rebound. Still fighting for it. Eventually London come away with it. Numbers here. Ruben open for three, and he knocks it down.
That's the danger. When the transition's there, Ruben's going to find himself a space there, and that is so deadly from there. Knocks it down with confidence. 47.7% for the three-point line this year.
Here's Jackson. On the turnaround, high arcer off the mark. Rebound with the rebound.
And that's great defense there by Jordan Taylor.
And here he is at the offensive end. He will shoot two.
Well, you see the difference here now in offense. Leicester Riders shooting difficult shots the last 2 or 3 times down the floor, and quite contrast the other sense now that London Lions now finding themselves in those danger areas of the Leicester Riders defense. And there's the play before, Josh Sharma. No one is safe as well when he's on court. That 7-footer, we've seen him do that across multiple standards he's played this year, including Europe Cup competition. Phenomenal cross-court shot blocker.
Well, Leicester have done something tonight that they haven't done all season long. That's take the lead against London. In all 3 meetings, they never had the lead a single time. But they were ahead early on here. They trail now by 5. And Taylor trying to make it 6.
And again, Dan, that early lead came because of their defense and with them having the ability to get out in transition and get those easy baskets.
Well, Carrington Love into the game for the first time will take over the point guard duty.
It's a huge piece of the puzzle for the Leicester Riders, in my opinion. I mean, he's had a good start so far to his Leicester Riders career. His numbers are extremely impressive for the minutes he's played, just 18 a game.
Short on his first shot here. That's come off the foot of Loving.
And Loving is going to be crucial to the Leicester Riders tonight. On a tear the last 3 games, averaging 22 points. Riders are going to need him to step up big here tonight.
Best going in the corner, kicks it out. Sholawani open for 3, and he strings it.
That penetration there and creating shots for teammates, and Mo Sholawani just entering the game, gets himself an open 3 and knocks it down.
Well, we talked about what a good week it's been for Kimball McKenzie, and before the game, Drew caught up with him.
Kimball, a more prominent role with the Riders, followed by a GB call. Life good?
Yeah, I mean, you know, my life isn't determined by how well I'm playing basketball, but, you know, we love winning here, and playing well is obviously a good thing, and obviously I'm honored about the GB call-up, so, yeah, life's good.
And speaking of basketball, what's contributed to your development this season?
You know, my confidence. You know, I think I'm playing with a lot of confidence, and just working on my game, working on my body. You know, I feel a lot stronger. And just in good shape, and just playing basketball, man. Just going out there and playing the game the right way.
And you guys haven't beaten the Lions this season. What's the mindset coming into tonight?
Try and go win the game. I mean, obviously a very good basketball team over there. They've gotten us a couple times, obviously most recently in the Cup. So go out there and play the right way, follow the game plan, try and win the game.
And we know your love for golf. Have you had a chance to hit the courses this season?
My brother was in town a couple weeks ago. I went out there, I stunk it up. I was hitting the ball all over the place, but loving life.
Thanks for your time, Kimball.
Thanks.
Well, he's not been stinking it up on the court, that's for sure. He's been playing really well, as his Player of the Month award is testament to, and 6 early points here as well.
And the great thing about him, he's a guy who embraced this role, meaning the 6-man role last year, but never accepted it. Went in the lab, got better in the offseason, paying off dividends so far this year.
Well, here is Nelson Henry, his first touch up against Comigan. The double team comes. Good ball movement. McKenzie is open. Second 3 of the game from Kimball McKenzie.
Really good ball movement there from the left to right. They give up a couple good shots there for a great one. Kimball McKenzie, that's a great shot.
Here's Decker eyeing his options. Decides to go himself with the ball away. That's short. Nelson Henry has it.
And that's what you can do with Sam Decker, is make him take tough shots. And yes, he's going to make some, but if they're as tough as that, every possession he catches the ball that close, it's going to be a long night for him.
Move back ball for a little pull in the low post where Loving had the better position. McKenzie, who's got 9 of Leicester's 11 points so far, gets his first break of the game with Whelan, an early return. Here's Nelson Henry, spinning baseline, trying to get it out to Love. He must have stepped on the line and out of bounds. He can't quite believe it. He seemed a long way from the line.
Yeah, he seemed closer to the 3-point line than he did the sideline.
Well, back to your point, Dan, with Kimball McKenzie scoring a bulk of the Riders' points, the question is who's going to step up? Who's going to be that guy to put the ball in the hole? Coach Rob talked about them needing to make shots tonight. Who's that guy going to be?
Well, yeah, Rob did mention it talking to you in the pregame. 3 of Leicester's 6 worst shooting games this season have been against London.
Well, so the answer is it isn't a guy. They need collective efforts from everyone, including this guy, Mark Loving, who was below par by his standards in the BBL Cup final. So he's one of the guys that are going to need to not just shoot the ball well, but be assertive and aggressive on the offensive end.
I think they only made 4 3-pointers in the Cup final. They made 3 already here. Nice pass into Comigan. Forced out to Ruban along the baseline. Decker trying to tip it home, but Nelson Henry comes down with it.
Good defensive rebound there from Nelson Henry. Secure the possession for his team.
Loving steps into another 3. That one doesn't go.
It's one of those ones, isn't it? If it goes, it's great. If it doesn't,
it's a terrible shot.
You get the look up to the heavens from Coach Pat Nostro.
Best. Looking for help. Finds Decker. Deep 3. Sam Decker knocks it down.
And for the first time tonight, Sam Decker is able to shake loose and That's why he's a big part of the Leicester Riders game plan. They're sending those doubles because he can do just that, knocking down open threes. Great shot.
Love needs some help here. He's picked it up in an awkward spot. Late in the shot clock for Loving. Gets his man in the air, gets the contact and the shot. Mark Loving with the and one.
That's just beautiful. How many times have we seen him do that shot clock winding down? He seems to relish in this opportunity here, and he's so casual. Everyone in here is like, shoot it, shoot it. But his calm, composed nature, just perfect timing to get the foul.
And that's what I love about Mark Loving's game, is that he doesn't allow a defense to speed him up. He's always going to play at his pace, at his tempo.
Even a shot clock doesn't even allow a shot clock to speed him up.
That's exactly it. He knew exactly how much time he had. It was enough to force the defender into a mistake. The three-point play cuts the deficit to 3 as far as Leicester are concerned. Here's Ward Hibbett, the former Leicester man, into the game for the first time.
He's another danger player. He always likes to play against his former club. Seems to have these big games.
Nice attack from Taylor. London bench wanting a foul, but they got a tip in instead. Whelan going quick. Whelan off the mark. And Cumberland with the rebound.
It's a rare occasion you'll see Patrick Whelan out of control there. It's quite common again of a player being out for a few weeks, and he of course has missed a few games for the Riders. He was absent from international break for Team GB because of his injury.
Best. That rims out. He got his own rebound and ends up with a Soliati 3.
Soliati steps up, making the open 3. And he's had a solid season so far for the Lions, stepping up when they need him most.
His three-point shooting has got better and better as the year has gone on. As Whelan knocks down his first bucket of the game.
That's a confident-looking shot as well from Patrick Whelan, which is a positive sign here. As I say, you don't know what you're going to get from a player when he just comes back from injury.
Well, when you're coming back, it's easier to shoot jump shots than it is attacking the rim because you don't quite have your legs up underneath you.
Here's Best. Gets some room for the 3 on the buzzer. It's short, but followed by Ward Hibbett, who cannot finish. Well, he did everything but put the ball in the basket there. Josh Ward Hibbett. Well, Leicester had an early lead led by Kimball McKenzie, but the London Lions have responded, and they've got 25 on the board in the opening quarter here in Leicester. It is a 6-point lead to the Lions. We will have the second quarter right after this break. Welcome back to Leicester. The Riders trail the London Lions by 19 points to 25, and it is they who will start the second quarter. Blake Bowman into the game for Leicester. Here's Lobb. Step back three. Off the back of the iron. Solowari with the rebound.
Confident knocking shot there from Carrington Love, but doesn't get it to go, but you'd want him to stay aggressive still be a threat.
Oh, the lob up to Betts, who jabs it in. What an assist from Taylor.
Wow. Goodness, he just jumped in between two red jerseys and dunked the basketball.
Out of nowhere.
Koya knocked loose by Ward Hibbert.
And right now the Riders got their second unit in the game, and as the Lions hold an 8-point lead, the game is separated by just that. Riders with 0 bench points, London with 8.
Lobbed back, and Nelson Henry can't get there. It's going to be a backcourt violation.
Well, that's interesting. You say that, Jeremy. These are the two deepest teams in the league, but it's the London Lions that lead the league in bench scoring by quite a margin as well. 28 points a game they get. And you look as well, Soko, Kufos, Zucic, Nelson combined bring you 48 points a game. Wow. 48 points a game. And none of one of those individuals here this evening.
I was about to say, never mind the bench, the front row of the seats over there is pretty talented behind them on the bench, where their injured players are sitting right now.
The depth and quality of this London Lions team this year has been something we haven't seen in the BBL for decades.
Ever is the answer to your question. That's going to be a 3-second violation against Nelson Henry.
I think we talk a lot about the players missing and what they don't, what's lacking offensively, but it's the defensive structure for me. This is a team this year that were a lot more defensive oriented than we thought we were going to be. They only concede 71 points a game, which is the best in the league by quite a margin as well. And what you've got with a defensive structure, you can bring bodies in, and if they buy into the team ethos, it still works.
Foul called on Weed on that. Taylor to inbound from the side. Betts, top of the key. Knocks it down.
And this is a guy who has been playing well for quite some time now. He doesn't get the plaudits. He flies under the radar, but as the London Lions have had flux with their roster.
Love loses it again. Taylor lobbing it back to Sharma for another two-handed throwdown.
Goodness me, and that's the offensive transition prowess that the London Lions can deliver. 3 on the fast break, lob it up to your 7-footer, finishes with an attack play.
And that's how you shut down the crowd.
Well, the last meeting between these two teams here was the foul that's called. London flew out of the blocks, had a big first half lead. And Leicester reeled most of it back in the second half, but not all of it. And London looking to do something similar here.
Well, substitutions are coming, and this unit has not worked for the Leicester Riders. This is the play before. Josh Sharma just skying through. What a pass. With contact as well on the pass. Eyes in the back of his head, knew exactly where Josh Sharma was.
I mean, every week Sharma is getting at least 2 alley-oops and 3 blocks. Featured on the top 10 plays of the week. Just one of the highlight players of our league. Has been a breath of fresh air for the BBL.
Highlight reel, like 30 minutes long.
Jackson driving baseline, and he gets the dunk.
There we go, Zach Jackson. First 2 points of the season for him, and he's someone who I really like his mentality when he plays against London Lions. Doesn't seem to phase him, and he wants to attack.
Tough finish from Jordan Taylor. Right look at the referee there.
Starts this game, Jordan Taylor, 9 points, 4 assists. He has been the difference maker.
I'm not quite sure how Leicester ended up with possession there, but they've turned it over on a held ball. He's had it knocked loose. He's trying to just bat it to McKenzie. Couldn't quite get hold of it.
But that's the difference in personnel. When it's Sharma, they're throwing it up to the rim. When it's Menzies, they're throwing a bounce pass at his feet.
Leicester with 8 turnovers in the first half. Taylor. Driving all the way to the rim, forced to go the long way by Jackson. And Leicester come away with it. Jackson drives in, and that will be a foul. He'll go to the line for 2.
It's a foul there as well. I think when you get enough level of resistance there, you know Josh Sharman's going to come across and help. And Mo Shalawali doesn't need to reach in there. Good intention there from Zach Jackson to attack the rim.
Well, Zeka returns to the game, and Tomislav Zubcic into the game. And yesterday it was reported he was going to be out for a little while with a injury. He was somewhat gingerly warming up before the game, but they're going to give him a few minutes and see how he goes.
Well, whatever he's taking, I want some of that.
Really surprised to see him on court. As someone who has spent a significant part of my career injured, I know what it's like to, warm up and run, like you're not injured. And he looked to me like he was injured. He looked like he was running freely and surely wasn't jumping freely. So it's interesting to see what he can do here in the minutes he's given.
Only in the corner for 3. Of course, it helps when your team is already got a double-figure lead.
And we know what he brings on the defensive side of the ball. And if he's knocking down those corner threes in particular, he is a tough cover.
Whelan trying to get the 3 back, and I think Menzies touched that out of bounds. Yes, it will be a London ball.
Well, you're right, Drew. Mioni's that guy that they haven't been able to incorporate into the offense yet because he's been in and out. But that's why he was hired in the NBA, to play defense and to shoot the corner 3-points up. It's those skill sets like a Bruce Bowen. Those are those guys that are so valuable.
No way through for Taylor. Here's Whelan. Whelan going right at it, and it is thrown into the seats by Oni.
And he blocks shots as well. As that's his second block as he skies from the left corner and puts it in about the 5th row. Says, get that out of here.
Goodness me, he just punches that out of bounds.
Offensive foul called against Adekoya. Now, Adekoya just threw the ball towards the referee as she was turning around to make the call. And obviously, she didn't see it, so just got a check from one of her co-officials that it wasn't in anger, it was just in passing the ball away, which I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, you can't help but comment on the body language at the moment from the Riders, which looks pretty negative. The frustration's even mounting up here and now. The play here is going to switch the tide of turn here. Patrick Whelan getting the turnover off Oni.
Well, Oni was convinced it went off Whelan, but the referee pointing down court for a Leicester possession. See if we can see. It's a little quick there to tell who's got that game off.
And that's something we saw quite often from Patrick Whelan, picking up 64 feet.
Loving. Down to Jackson. McKenzie in the corner. Knew it was short, went after it, and turns it into 2.
Me, Kimball McKenzie can do no wrong. He misses a shot. He first the rebound, and he goes straight at the 7-footer. What a play.
Well, we've seen a great start to the second quarter by the Lions and by Aaron Best, and earlier he spoke to Drew.
AB, you've been balling. How do you assess your game so far?
I think I got a lot of room for improvement still. And honestly, more about like team success. So I'm happy with, what we've been doing lately. I think, again, like I said, there's always room for improvement, and we want to be trending in the right direction towards the end of the season.
And you guys got a big squad with big resumes. Is everyone united and have the same goals?
Absolutely. We understand the opportunity that we have here, and we definitely want to take full advantage of it.
What do you enjoy most about the life in London?
Honestly, we have a great team, great group of guys. I just enjoy that part of it, just going to war with these guys every day and, just making the best of it.
Another win tonight over the Riders put you in the driver's seat for the league title?
Honestly, I just try to, take it one game at a time. We're going to do what we can to come up with the win tonight and, just go from there.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Well, they always say they take it one game at a time, but not all games are equal in terms of their value, and win today would secure the head-to-head for London, so that is the tiebreaker, so it is worth a bit more than just one win.
Yeah, both teams have been trained well in their PR skills, but they know what's at stake tonight. It's a leg up on the league title.
This is the guy who's asked a lot of questions this year. Well, that's high, and Zubcic, even with his length, can't quite get up and grab that.
That's a lot of length as well. He's a long, small forward, stroke power forward there, and you're right, Danny. Couldn't quite gather that one in.
Whelan out to Loving along the baseline, dumps it in.
Again, good patience from the Leicester Riders. It's Mark Loving that's able to exploit some space there on the baseline and then sky high for the dunk finish.
And that's what I'm talking about in particular, Mark Loving. It's the intent, the aggressiveness to drive to the basket and make something happen.
Here's Taylor from behind the arc for three. Whelan coming in for the rebound. McKenzie gets the switch. Kicks out to Loving in the corner from behind the arc. Too long. Taylor doing a bit of everything, pulling in the rebound. Decker round the screen. Out to Zubcic, turns down the three, but finds Sharma underneath, and they'll get a chance at a three-point play with Z's foul.
That's an excellent decision there from Zubcic there. He could have took that shot, but again, waits patiently for a better shot, and that's your 7-footer inside where all Patrick Whelan can do really is foul.
And that's the experience showing through, because that's a shot that he normally never turns down. So knowing himself, knowing that he's not 100%, and trusting his teammates that he can get something better.
No, Sharma wasn't ready for the ball there. Threw it back for the referee. I've not seen that before. Well, when they grab it, they start counting, won't you? Don't know. It's all good. He converts the three-point play. McKenzie for three, a little short. Menzies gets the rebound. Whelan spins into trouble. Jackson helps him out. That's not loose. Riders still have it, but the shot clock's getting low. It needs to go off. Whelan gets it off in time, but can't convert.
Wow. They scored that. I don't know if it was a deserved offense, because London Lions has pushed them out of everything there. Very broken ball movement.
Zubcic tried to pass it cross-court and ended up hitting the ring. Unfortunate for him.
And yeah, just talking about that previous possession, just incredible team defense by the London Lions. You don't too often see a Leicester Riders offense looking as clunky as it looked to play before.
Menzies. Around to Love. Love finding some room and finger rolling it in for two.
That's a really self-assured start there, making a move. It's all about space. If you can find these spaces, get in those danger zones and convert, we're always going to be dangerous.
Only with a little turnaround. He's got the size of McKenzie. Loving gets his man up in the air, gets the rebound, and is fouled at the second attempt.
Good persistence there. Aaron Menzies been doing what he's supposed to do, and that's being that big force there on the boards, helping his teammate out there, and it's Mark Loving that was able to join him on the hunt for that offensive rebound.
Second personal foul on Mosholawadi.
It looked like Love might have got his hand caught up there as he's wincing as he walks up to the free throw line. Hope it's nothing too serious as he heads to the line for two shots.
he caught it a couple of feet back and just walked into the free throw line. Not effective for him, though.
Yeah, it seems to be bothering him still, doesn't it? Shaking off his arms.
He's missed both there. Only catch and shoot. Nothing. Rising high for the rebound. Getting it forward to Love, and he was trying to, it was just a little behind him. Decker out on his own chase back, but he reversed it in for the jam, and with 2.5 minutes to go in the first half, Rob Paternostro is going to call a timeout. 29-45 his team trail.
The level of focus for the Lions right now, it seems to be another level that Leicester Riders are trying to claw themselves back into this game, but it's the London Lions' intensity, anticipation, and the pressure on defense that's really causing this Riders team problems.
But we talked about how the Leicester Riders have to play with more play pace and get easy baskets in transition. A prime opportunity there. They got to cash in, because we know the London Lions aren't going to let you escape too often in that situation.
They're such a difficult team to chase down as well, London, and Leicester in a 16-point hole as it stands right now. I mentioned that previous meeting here just after Christmas, wasn't it? They led by as many as 19 in the first half, London, and ended up only winning it by 6, with Leicester trying to mount a comeback in the second half.
Yeah, that's been the issue the last time that these teams have faced, is that the Riders are always chasing. And they normally get themselves back in the game, but you know, man, you've been in that situation before. You expend so much energy just trying to get back in the game that you can't quite get over that hump.
That's the, a mirror of the BBL Cup final. You say that Leicester Riders have never led in this fixture, in this matchup, and they're forever chasing a really, really good team. So, you claw your way back into a game and then get it close, and all it takes is for London to regain composure, and it's all gone again.
Well, London have led by 16 in every meeting this season between these two teams, as Menzies will go to the line for a bonus.
Kimball McKenzie, fantastic play there. Feeds the big man, and Aaron Menzies, good catch, keeps it high, strong finish. Perfect sequence of play.
Well, we don't often give Drew good news. Sat here.
Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me.
Halftime in Newcastle, the Eagles 41, Bristol Flyers 32.
That's more like it. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's go as we hit the final stretch and try to make a run for that 8th and final playoff spot, as awkward as that sounds.
Could be a massive step towards the league title for London if they beat Leicester and Bristol lose as well. Decker with the step back 3. Love driving in hard. Oh, it looked like he might have got caught from behind. There is a foul, but it's against Comagon on Menzies instead.
Again, Aaron Menzies doing a stellar job on the boards. Just staying active and getting his team secondary opportunities to score the basketball.
Well, he's got the chance himself here from the free throw line as London are over the limit. Jonathan Camargan call for the second personal foul. He'll sit down with Zubcic returning.
The Riders 4 for 8 from the free throw line so far this evening.
Menzies with 5 points, 6 rebounds so far.
And he had a good showing for Team GB as well against the defeat against Serbia. Good, solid display on both ends of the floor.
Zubcic, extra pass to the corner. Oni's 3 rims out. Jackson step back 3. Doesn't go. Oni with the rebound.
Riders just cannot get that three ball to consistently drop. 3 for 15 now.
Only trying to get one for London. Doesn't go either. Jackson through the contact, that'll count. Zach Jackson with a chance for an extra free throw.
Well, if you're not consistently hit for the three-point line, you've got to find other methods, and that's the old school way. Scoring 3 points and one. Zach Jackson with the contact. Earned himself a trip to the free throw line.
Well, a minute to go in the first half, and timeout call by Coach Ryan Smith and the London Lions. And as you say, on the other side of that, Leicester will have a chance for an old-fashioned three-point play. We were talking to Bill Worth before the game, one of the original Loughborough All-Stars that became the Leicester Riders from the 1960s and 70s. He was showing us some of his old memorabilia. It was great to catch up with Bill Worth. That's the only way they used to get 3 points back in them days.
Yeah, and I love speaking to guys like that as well. Of course, the game was very, very different back then, and these are the guys that's paved the way now to modern day basketball. Whereas you say that there was no such thing as a three-point line.
Well, Bill was a definite centre in his day. He'd probably be an off guard with his size nowadays, the way the size of people have gone. Probably be a point guard on London's team.
Yeah.
Well, Leicester with the chance to get it back to 10 here. Good last minute. Could get them back into a decent position from where they were. Conversely, a couple of threes from London, and Riders are right back in a big old hole. Decker out to Zubcic. Zubcic for three, off the mark. Stolen back by Adekoya.
Good energy there. Kimball McKenzie, the smallest guy on the court. He's the one who deflects it there.
Adekoya going to the hole, and Decker was trying to get out of the way, but wasn't very successful, and he gets called for the foul.
You see Riders now, more composure, both ends of the floor. The desperation's there on the defensive end, so they're reacting first, and offensively, they're not settling for the jump shot, they're not settling for the contested three, they're finding ways to attack the rim and get the defense to commit fouls.
Leicester haven't done tremendously well from the free throw line today. They're normally, particularly here, very, very good from the free throw line. They are best in the league at 81.3%, but they have missed 7 in the first half.
That's the second time that's been an empty trip to the free throw line as well. Mark Lovin missing 2 in a row. He's an 86% free throw shooter.
When you have a chance to get it to 8 as well. Here's Urban at the other end, and the 3 goes in and compounds Leicester's disappointment.
Unbelievable. Unconscious from beyond the three-point line. 48% three-point shooter.
McKenzie for 3, short. Leicester somehow have it. There's a foul there, is there? Is there a foul? There's a whistle blown. Decker's saying it was too late. The referees are going to talk it over as to whether the foul was called before the buzzer sounds. No, they're going to have a long discussion about it. And the decision is no foul. The decision is the foul is after the buzzer, much to the displeasure of the home fans who let the referees know they weren't happy with that. It's a 13-point London Lions lead at the half.
And it's been the defense that suffocated the Leicester Riders at times. That second quarter was really difficult for the Riders to find any type of consistency offensively. They got 16 points, or held to 16 points in that second quarter. And the London Lions were able to get out a run and get easy baskets.
Well, work for Rob Paternoster and his team to do at the interval, trailing by 13. As I say, they had a bigger deficit in the last league meeting here. They didn't get it all back, but they got a lot of it back. They'll be hoping for a similar second half this time around. But they're going to have to score more than 35 points in the second half. When we talk about their shooting numbers, they're going to have to shoot better than 18% from the three-point line and 46% from the free throw line.
Yeah, they haven't shot well, but it's been credit as well to the intensity of the London Lions defense. This is the best defensive team in the league, and it's no coincidence that teams shoot poorly against them. It's because they run teams up the line, they make them uncomfortable, and make things just very difficult for them to consistently score.
Well, also 10 turnovers, I'm sure Rob Paternostro will be talking about in the locker rooms at halftime as a way to try and get themselves back into the game. Let's get some halftime reaction. Jordan Taylor is with Drew.
Thanks, Dan. Jordan, a 13-point healthy league going into the half. What positives did you see out of your team in those first 20 minutes?
It was our first game back after a while, so we came out with energy. You said healthy lead, though. We've been here like 3 times with these guys. No such thing as a healthy lead. I think the score was almost identical last time, maybe like 48-31 or something like that. But we did a lot of good things well. We got to do a little bit better defensively, doing small things like transition, not stabbing at the ball, and then offensively just keeping up with our pace and finding good shots.
And when your team is rolling, the only thing that can stop you is a break. How do you carry that momentum into the second half?
Details, man. That's what Coach Ryan has been talking about that all week, and Ash, details. Whether you're making shots, missing shots, you got to do the little things. They're well coached. They play hard. They have a lot of good adjustments there offensively, so we have to stick to our principles and rely on those and trust in each other.
And finally, 9 points personal for yourself. What conversations will you be having within in order to build on your performance?
When we move the ball and we're unselfish, I think it just depends on whose night it's going to be for us. And really, whose quarter, whose half. Obviously, Sam is Sam. Coach is not with us, but Zuba, Voida, Mie, AB, everybody, even Jono coming off the bench. Like, guys are going to be able to put the ball in the hole. So just keep that thing moving and stick with our principles.
Good luck in the second half.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, eloquently put there from Jordan Taylor, emphasizing the devastating strength and depth on this Lions side. It is a tall order for the Riders, but as Jordan pointed out, don't count the champs out quite yet. London, top of the table and in control here at the half. Kimball McKenzie picking up from where he's left off. He's been in brilliant form and a fast start for him, but the Lions' #1 ranked defense stifled the Riders, and then London turned up the heat with their own offense. Jordan Taylor had a big half. Josh Sharma getting involved in the act. A lot of the Lions did. And at halftime here at the Morningside, it's a 13-point lead for the London Lions. Kieran withdrawn to players like Sam Decker, who we just saw there, to Jordan Taylor and his energy and his drive. But make no mistake, this Lions side is first and foremost built around their defense.
Yeah, they've got great defensive presence. Every single player that steps onto that court understand that defense is key to winning, and it's great to see, like I said, that strength and depth, the fact that they commit to defense. Even if they're not scoring, they're always going to be in a game.
We heard coach Rob Paternostro talking with Drew at the start of the game, and when Drew asked him what needs to change given the fact the Riders are 0-3 against London this season, and Rob said we need to make more shots. Well, just 3 from 16 from the three-point range, which is a terrible number at the best of times. Not only is this a Riders side that is prolific and dangerous from downtown, but up against a London's defense that is so good at shutting it down, it is playing out perfectly for Coach Schmidt's side.
It has been, and you know what? The Riders are going to need to make 3-point shots and free throws for that matter. They're missing a lot of free throws too. But you know, Patrick Whelan's a little bit off. You can see he's just come back from injury. The shot's not dropping the exact same way. They're getting actually get some good looks, just not being able to execute. Okay,
Jordan Taylor, I mentioned him a moment ago. He's been the pick of the bunch in an impressive overall performance for the London Lions. He plays with such drive, such energy, doesn't he? When things around are a little flat offensively, he makes things happen.
He makes plays, but you know, for me, he brings a level of calmness. Like, look at that little fake there, all under control, doesn't really get rushed. You know, gets to his spot, knock down shots, and can facilitate as well. He's a great playmaker. Like, look at this play. That's precise passing. You know, that's a great pass. That's an elite pass. You know, and that's something about him. He just knows how to play the game of basketball.
Yeah, 9 points, 5 assists, and we saw a number of them there. They weren't just assists by numbers, but impressive as well. Kimball McKenzie, his counterpart, of course, in terms of the Battle of the Floor Generals, as I said at the top, had a fast start, and he's had a brilliant month, hasn't he? He's the BBL Player of the Month, represented Team GB this week, so he's coming to this game in great form.
Great to see him get his first cap for GB against a strong Serbia side, but he is playing with so much confidence. I love how aggressive he is. You know, he attacks the basket, being undersized, can finish in traffic and shooting the ball well at an exceptional rate too. So again, look at that, getting a rebound, flexing on him. You can see he's been in that weight room. Great to see.
He mentioned that, didn't he, into his pre-game interview with Drew, because as we were watching the game, talking about his progression this season, because he's been a solid BBL player for a number of years and a key part, of course, of this very successful Riders side. But what do you think has changed? He's gone from a supporting cast member to a leading player, hasn't he?
I think expectations. I think he's needed to step up and play that role. But he's clearly on that ant roll workout plan as well. You can see he's a lot stronger, flexing his muscles there. Great to see.
I need to go on that plan by the sound of it. I'll be talking to Ant Row after this game, that's for sure. Right. Solid from the London Lions at the half. Still all to play for, though, because they are up against the champs. We'll have a look at how Leicester might get back into this game in just a moment. But first up, here are our favourite plays from around the league this week.
Volley from way out, but no problem.
Deep three there by McFoley. Keeping them right in this game.
Oh, that super ball movement and the two-handed dunk on the end of it for Delpash.
And that's what you call instant offense. Marcus Delpash, fresh off the bench, an immediate impact on the game. Big two-hand slam.
Really difficult too. Pipkins on the alley-oop pass, and he jams it in.
Wow, that's your backcourt punch there. Throw the ball high, and Pipkins skies to make the finish.
The ball movement from the Giants. They're going inside. Tars Green with a huge throwdown. Wow.
Just elevated and got above the rim there. Mark-Hedrick Bell serves a facial. Mark-Hedrick Bell says he's too small to guard me. Woohoo!
Is Taj Green in every week? I think we've got to check. I think he is, right?
He literally should be,
Yeah.
you know, and that's, watching that play, McKedrick Bell was exceptional. Green was exceptional. I'm going to have to give it to two plays this week. Two. They were both absolutely disgusting.
You see, double down. I think it's the first time in the history of the show.
Double disgusting.
Oh, there we go. Double. Yeah, I've got to say it twice when you get a double down. Very quickly, Kieran. What is Coach Rob Paternoster going to be saying to the Riders? How are they going to get back into this?
They have to be more aggressive. Keep attacking the basket. They're getting to the free throw line. They have to execute from the free throw line, but being aggressive, not being scared to shoot will be the difference in this game.
First 5 minutes of the second half, you figure, are going to be absolutely crucial, not just to tonight's game, but the title race collectively. All right, then. So there's a key half of basketball coming your way. The Lions gunning for the Riders title and looking to sweep them to 4-zip this season. What the Leicester have to say about it? Find out next. The champ's in trouble. If the Riders are coming back into this one, well, Kimball McKenzie will need to be front and centre. As we've been reliably informed, he's been following the Ant Row workout plan. Is it going to be enough, though, ladies and gentlemen? Let's find out as the second half is about to tip off.
How do you put me in that shot? Let's just have Ant Row on his own. We don't need me in that shot with him and his big pecs dancing about next to me. Let's get the game underway, quick.
I'm glad I'm sitting here next to you, Dan, not having to run up and down, because then I'll be exploited, I'll be exposed for a fraud that I am, sitting here commenting on other people's abilities.
Well, the last time these two teams met in this building, as Menzies gets in close and scores, at half-time it was 28-47 London led, 19-point lead. They only won by 6. Leicester will be hoping for a similar sort of turnaround, and that they can get enough to get themselves in front. Here's Herban from behind the arc for 3. Wow.
That's not going to get it done when you leave Ruben that much space. He's going to knock it down. And you know, Jordan Taylor, even in his halftime interview, he was fully aware that this lead isn't that comfortable because they know that Leicester Riders are going to come back at them. So this is something that I'm sure Coach Smith would have hammered home at halftime.
McKenzie drives in. He's up to 13.
Kimball McKenzie just scoring in so many different ways. We're really seeing the plethora of offense that he has.
Whelan coming over for the help, and he's going to get called for his third personal foul. There weren't too many fouls in the first half on Leicester. He actually has more than half of their fouls in the game.
Sam Dekker here again, just driving to the rim and finding his big man. And the defense to commit the foul.
And it's amazing what that lob threat opens up, and it opens up that weak side pass, so that weak side defender has to come all the way over. And basically, Sam Dekker can just pick his poison when he's coming off those ball screen actions.
Whelan had to rearrange that, but still knocked it down.
Wow, that's a difficult shot. Already left his feet, and the defender sort of put him off. Didn't matter. Readjusted and knocked it down.
Room for Taylor. His three is a little short. The high rebound gives Ruben a chance, but Leicester able to come away with it. Menzies spins one way and then the other. Finish.
Nice footwork by the big fella as he fakes middle and kisses it off the glass with his left hand.
9 points off 4 shots and 7 rebounds to boot.
He's had good activity today, Aaron Menzies.
Dekker knocks down his second three of the game.
And the Leicester Riders are playing much better offensively, but what they can't afford to do is trade baskets here with the London Lions. Gotta make it a little bit tough on that end.
McKenzie has it ripped away by Oni. Dekker lobs it up to Oni, couldn't quite catch it. Sharma might keep it alive here. He does, and draws the foul. Urban, and he will shoot two.
Goodness me, how is London Lions kept possession there? The lobs a little bit too high originally, but good persistence there from Josh Sharman. Ruben just comes from nowhere.
And I think he thought he was throwing it up to Josh Sharma because he threw it there at the top of the glass. So, wrong guy.
It was an excellent defensive play before from Mione, and we're starting to see now why, you know, all the different qualities he could bring there, especially on that side of the floor.
Both free throws good. Lead back out to 15 for London. Loving forced all the way back on that double team. On to McKenzie for three. One iron on that one. Sharma wins the battle. And actually there's going to be a foul there on Menzies. And the home fans were screaming for a travel. And, well, their ire wasn't lifted by seeing number 15 shown to the table.
Well, it had to be one or the other, either a foul or a travel. Your Sharma is moving.
Sharma in the key, floats it in.
And that's a great cut there in the middle of the rim by Josh Sharma, showing that he's more than just a highlight reel as he hits the nice little jump hook there.
Well, and he has to be more now. With Costa Kupos out of the roster for league play, he has to be that go-to big man now that has to do more than just those high-energy plays.
Whelan, a long way short on that. Only did well to keep that in the front court. Good hands from Loving to bat it up in the air. And we talked about Patrick Whelan and his toe injury that forced him to miss the last 3 weeks. He certainly hasn't had that three-point touch. He's one of the best in the business, but he's 0 for 5 from behind the arc today. Decker late in the shot clock, creates some room, fires over the big man, and there's going to be a foul on the rebound on Jackson. Is there a technical in there as well? There was another whistle blown. It is a technical foul on Kimball McKenzie. Must have said something to the referee on the baseline.
Oh, wow. And things are going from bad to worse here for the Riders, who are trailing 17 now. That's where the length comes in. You saw Ruben there go after it. And of course, the opposition is 3 inches smaller than him in that position, giving him the advantage.
Well, he misses the technical free throw. He's going to get 2 now for the foul on the rebound. First 5 fouls of the second quarter, all against Leicester, having gone through the first half. I think they only had 4 fouls at halftime.
And from the other side, you can tell that this international break has done London some good because they look refreshed. They're being scrappy defensively. They look locked in more like they did the first game of the season. And we have to remember, as well as their plan, this is half of their team. So, you know, a team that we've not really been able to see their full roster consistently over the course of the season.
Jackson for 3. Well, Herban played 1 game in the window. And obviously Sharma played 1 game as well for Great Britain. Only fires up to 3. Best didn't play for Canada, as Leicester can't get hold of the rebound. So I think everybody else managed to get some time off.
Yeah, and if you look at social media, it seemed like, you know, most of the guys on the team got a chance to get away. And I spoke to Coach Ryan during the week, and he said he had plans to go to Spain, but when it got down to it, the last thing he wanted to do was get on an airplane, and so he just relaxed at home.
Decker went for the hammer, and London get the points in the end.
Well, a little bit of volleyball now. You can see the confidence deflating on the Leicester Riders. Frustrations increasing, and the London Lions they're taking their feet off the pedal. They're just pushing it further and further down and dominating on the boards.
London's biggest lead of the game at 21 points. They've outscored Leicester 16 points to 8 here at the start of the second half, and they forced Rob Paternostro into a timeout.
Yeah, and it's been a combination of things. The London Lions have been the ones to draw the first blood in this third quarter. Again, I think the message was very clear. This is a Leicester Riders team that have the ability to get back in a ball game, especially in this building, Morningside Arena. And they didn't want to take any chances, any scares or runs that they witnessed in the previous meetings, and they took control and matters into their own hands and extended this lead to 21.
Well, as it stands, London were moved to 21-2. Leicester were dropped to 16-7. And if Newcastle can hang on, Bristol would drop to 8 defeats. That is a massive, massive lead for London at the top of the table.
Absolutely. It could be the perfect Friday night from the London Lions. And if the Leicester Riders are going to get back in this game, as you mentioned, Patrick Whelan 0 for 5 from the 3, they got to get it going from outside. 3 for 19. And you're talking about one of the best shooting teams in the British Basketball League.
That's a hold. Urban had hold of Patrick Whelan as he was coming along the baseline. You just got to watch him along the baseline there, around the screen. McKenzie turns the corner, gets to the rim, and foul is called, much to the protestation of the London coaching staff.
Well, the Leicester Riders need it, and excellent block from Sharma. I don't really see where the foul is. I don't see a foul at all, but I like the intent from Kimball McKenzie. Again, no fear, going right at the athletic 7-footer.
Oh, I missed the number. I assume it was Sharma that was called for it. McKenzie makes both from the free throw line. Taylor driving in, and it's a hell ball as Nelson Henry got his hands on there. It'll be a London possession on the arrow.
Yeah, great hands there by Nelson Henry to force the tie up.
Ooh, that gave Whelan a chance there on the path. He was able to deflect it out of play. Taylor leaves it short. Technical foul forward. I think Jordan Taylor said something to the referee there.
Well, it wasn't a lot what he said, so whatever he said must have been potent.
Well, you can expect more of that this time of year as you get down to the March, April time of the season. There's a lot on the line and a lot of emotions flaring.
Well, London have distributed their fouls about as well as you can. 6 players on 2 fouls. Nobody on more than that. He's just getting some adjustment to the strapping on his finger. Down low to Nelson Henry. Nice pass. Oh, dunked in by Jackson.
Wow, that beautiful play there. Nelson Henry seemed to be in a bit of a jam, but Zach Jackson cuts timely and finishes with a jam.
Around the screen, off the back iron, McKenzie has it.
It's a rare miss too, isn't it? Every time he shoots the ball, you just expect it to go in.
It's his first missed 3 of the game. In fact, it was a long 2. He's missed a few of them. He's still perfect from behind the arc. Nice pass, and there's Nelson Henry overcooks it though. Loving, he can't put it back, still going after it. And that's come off best on the way out. It'll be a Leicester ball.
And those little bunnies right there that the Leicester Riders missed is because of the shot blocking ability that the London Lions possess. Make you think twice when you're there in the paint going up.
Whelan sits down as Love comes back. Love up in the air, finds Loving. Loving with a pump, and another one that was intimidated, I guess, and can't convert.
Empty possession there again, and again against this team, you've got to punish them when you've got the ball in those inside positions.
Nice kick out, Shalawati for 3, knocks it down.
And that was all created by Sam Decker as he gets downhill, and it's a foot race to the rim with Nelson Henry. And Sam Decker wins, in particular with the kick out to the corner.
Well, I think Jackson must have caught one in the nose because he's just stopped the game for us. So the referee stopped the game.
Speaking of bench points, though, Mo Shalawati just coming off the bench, 9 points from him, perfect from the 3-point line, 3 for 3. Contributions from across the board here on this Lions roster.
Head fake from McKenzie, and he drops in another 2. 18 points for him.
And that's a guy that's just playing with confidence.
He's been excellent. Last game against Cheshire, the win up there, 31 points, 5 assists, and he just looks like a player. He looks like a player of the month player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, no curse for him, and he does a good job against the bigger Decker there as well. Loving drops it off to Nelson Henry, who is fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2.
That's the thing with the London Lions as well. They don't give you a lot anyway. And then when they do get these balls in the danger zones, it's nothing easy. You know, it's not an easy 2 points there for Nelson Henry. Instead, he's got to go and earn it now at the free throw line, which Leicester Riders haven't been particularly convincing from. 9 for 16 today from the free throw line.
Well, the third foul on the Czech international sees him sit down.
And for the Leicester Riders, incredibly, that's only their 3rd bench point here tonight. When you talk about the quality of this Lions squad, that's just not going to get it done.
Wow, no, it's not. That's what we've been accustomed to seeing, especially in this building, is high volume from the bench. As you say, Drew, way below par today. They typically average 22 points a game from the bench, so just to put that into context, only 2, 3 you said today, way below par.
Betts bullying his way to the basket. It'll either be 14 or 50 the referees will decide on, whether it's Love or Nelson Henry, and it is Love who's called for the foul.
And I mentioned about the consistent play out of Aaron Best, in particular when he's getting downhill to his left hand. He is very, very difficult to stop.
Aaron Best is an interesting one, the Canadian international. I mean, he's the guy that Coach Ryan Smith's coached before in the Canadian League. He's brought them over. But they can't speak highly enough of him personality-wise, as well as his talents on court. They've made him captain as well since the departure of Obi Soko. So Aaron Best is one of those guys that they really like having around here, and he's had a positive impact on this team on and off the court.
Love driving all the way to the rim, overcooks the layup though.
Way too many missed layups there. We won't comment on the missed 3-pointers, but finishing around the rim, there'll be a lot of red X's around those key areas. Look at the shot chart.
Foul on the rebound on Adekoya, just holding on to Decker. Riders long since over the limit, so 2 free throws for that.
And London Lions have been a thorn in the Leicester Riders side all night long, in particularly aggressively crashing the offensive glass, giving themselves second opportunities as Decker goes to the line.
They've got double figures offensive rebounds and trying to get to double figures second chance points with this free throw. And they do. If Drew goes a bit quiet in the next few minutes, it might be stress related. That game up in Newcastle's got awfully close. Eagles still ahead, but only just. Here's McKenzie at the elbow, that's off the mark. Adekoya trying to bat it in, knocks it loose, but Zubcic falling down is able to keep possession. Zubcic only just got over the halfway line there. Decker inside, and Love is going to get called for the foul, and Decker will once again go to the free throw line.
It's a great job there by the Lions recognizing the mismatch. The smaller Love is matched up against a 6'9" frame of Sam Decker, and immediately he goes down to the left block where he earns himself another trip to the free throw line.
It's another thing that's so refreshing about Sam Decker as well. He hasn't came in here thinking, oh, we're playing against Leicester Riders, I need to take 20 shots today. He lets the game come to him, and he doesn't shy away as well when there's a big moment, when there's a requirement for him to perform in a big moment. And here he is now. That'll take him to 10 points personal now. But he's a guy that just lets the offense come to him, which doesn't disrupt everyone else.
And that's a guy that's reading the game. He recognized early that the Riders were trying to take him out by sending doubles, so he became a playmaker, and then he can do other things as well. He has 7 rebounds tonight, so he's not just a one-trick pony. Has a great all-around game.
Well, he'll get himself a breather after those free throws as Josh Ward-Hibbert returns. Love kicks out. Walsh gets it to Jackson for the jab.
Good ball movement there, and Zach Jackson again benefits from a dunk shot. Coach Ryan Smith was not happy with his team's defensive structure there and calls a timeout.
Well, those are the things, aren't they? I mean, you both played for coaches who won an awful lot in this league. and both of them would do exactly the same thing. The lead goes from 20 to 18, doesn't matter. It was a defensive breakdown. He wants to talk it over.
Absolutely, because even if this game is out of reach, which is not, from a coach's perspective, it's all about habits. And if you're a championship team, it's about having those winning habits, because Coach Ryan knows that there's going to be a game, whether it's in the British Basketball League for the playoffs or whether it's in the FIBA Cup, that it's going to come down to a play, and it's going to come down to the guys being in the right position. So that's what that timeout is about.
Well, he's sending his team back out after that. They lead 72 points to 54. There's 1:28 remaining in the third quarter. The third quarter that the Lions are winning by 24 points to 19. And Leicester haven't got to 20 in any quarter yet in this game. London have scored 23 or more in each of them.
Well, for everyone watching at home as well, it's a sense of, you know, a little bit of shock and subduedness in the atmosphere at the moment here. You know, you haven't seen this Leicester Riders team down by 20, you know, much in this building at all. And I think the way in which the London Lions have the dominance on the home team is something, again, a rarity in this building.
Well, Beck's just set his feet out of bounds before he made that shot.
In a place where the Leicester Riders won, is that right, Dan? 23 in a row before London beat them early in the year?
It was, yes. It was actually a club record consecutive wins in BBL play until a couple of days after Christmas when London came in. Nelson Henry in a double team, falling over, gets it away. Knocked loose by Solowadi. It's going to be a Leicester ball, but they've got a long way to go and only 6 seconds to get there.
And that was fantastic defense there. I think Nelson Henry was surprised by the double team. And London Lions have been scrappy all night long. And they know it's at stake. They know it's March, it's April, it's playoff time. So they've taken it up a notch here tonight.
Love trying to create some room, gets the shot away, and gets it to go. What a hit for three.
That is an incredible shot against a very good team. The double team came, but Love somehow got in between and got that shot off.
Well, that's livened the crowd up at best. Takes 2 points back.
And you look at the difference on the other side of the floor, how easy it was for Aaron Best to just rise up and hit that signature three-pair from the wing.
Wadi called for the foul. Just a little bit too close, I think. And London are over the limit now. That's their 5th of the quarter, so Leicester will get 2 free throws to Zach Jackson.
Well, it's hard to find
worth having another look at the Love shot. How he found room between them to get that away.
It's me. Circus shot. Special.
Sometimes that's all you need. I mean, the Leicester Riders have missed a plethora of 3 open looks here tonight, and they hit the most difficult one that they've had.
Well, some consultation with the table and the officials. I'm not quite sure. They're pointing towards the London end of the court as if it was something to do with the previous shot. As to whether it was worth, I think they were checking whether it was worth 2 or 3. It was definitely a 2. He was virtually at the elbow. Agreed that now. Loving will come in for Nelson Henry with 12.2 seconds to go in the third. Oh, it actually was Carrington Love's shot that they were querying and saying that was only worth a 2.
And how nice would that be for the league and for the officials as well when they're able to use the TV replays implemented into the league. So we know it's coming soon.
The shot clock is off for London here. Trying to add to their lead at the end of the third. Best with the step back 3. Best stretches it to 19. And the London Lions continue to pile on the agony of the Leicester Riders here at the end of the third quarter. Well, London marching their way towards the league title and marching their way to claiming An important win against one of their rivals. We're through 3 quarters. It's 58-77. The fourth period is coming after this. Well, Drew, you said video replay needs to come soon. Watch this. His foot is behind the three-point line. Love should have got 3 for that. He only got 2.
Well, and it's one of those ones where you're thankful that it doesn't, well, it may affect the game, but if this was a 1-point game, of course there'll be, the ramifications there are so much larger.
And where technology is, in particular with sports, it's inevitable that it'll be introduced into our league.
Loving driving to the basket and the finger roll.
Zubcic signals to the bench there. There's a sort of apology. Coach Schmidt again will be wanting more from his guys on that end of the floor right until the final whistle.
Offensive foul on Conga. Well, we saw in the cup final Leicester make a charge at the start of the fourth. Could they do it again here in the league?
Yeah, we always talk about it's the first 5 minutes. If you're going to throw the punch, the Riders have to throw it now and have to be aggressive on both ends of the ball.
Here's Loving. Spinning into trouble, gets it back, and converts.
Excellent defense from Aaron Best. Just better offense from Mark Loving.
Well, an offensive foul called against Zubcic, and Coach Schmidt cannot believe it. He's saying that the other official was closer, but Zubcic is also arguing this case. Let's have a look. He's run into him.
Would you consider that a non-call if you're just running and you...
He ends up on the floor, that's the problem.
Right.
But that shouldn't be a determinant of whether it's a foul or not. Someone could just flop on the floor.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a flop though, was it?
I'm not sure.
Adekoya knocks it through, loses it out of bounds, so London get the ball back without any damage done. Best gets past Adekoya, gets all the way to the rim. Commanding with the rebound, he can't convert. Still loose, Leicester have it.
Wow, fight for those boards now. A little bit more even.
Jackson top of the key for 3, rings out. It's Zach Jackson time. Shalawati trying to make it his time, and he does with a 4th three-pointer of the game.
Perfect. 4 for 4. Mo Shalawati is feeling very comfortable from beyond the perimeter.
Loving trying to get them back out.
And the Riders just can't get it going from behind the arc. As they sit at 3 for 21.
Love rips that one away. Loving. Walsh gets his way to the rim. Oh, it just bobbles out. They've had a few of them as well.
Did the hard part as well, didn't he? Excellent move towards the rim. And Jackson almost steals the ball.
Well, Zach Jackson cannot understand that one. He thought he had a steal there. Just watching what's going on. There's plenty of chatter out there.
I thought there was a good defensive play there from Zach Jackson.
Yeah, agreed. Tough call, then. Speaking of Zach has 13 points, but it feels like it's been quiet tonight, and we revert back to the Cup final. It was loud. I mean, he was one of the bright spots for Leicester throughout that game. Probably would have won MVP between him and McKenzie had the Riders won that game. Having a great season so far.
Best up in the air. There's something going on in the key between Zubcic and Love. Couldn't quite see what it was. I think it's the Leicester man who's been called for it. It is 14 that's been shown to the table.
Well, that's no surprise when you look at the size difference there. Love it. Can't see it from that angle.
Wardy. That's his first missed 3 of the game.
And that was his most difficult shot he's had. It was a good contest there. Timbo McKenzie was right up in his grill.
Oh, it's thrown away. Zubcic will get there. He's going to pull up for the transition 3, and he's going to knock it down.
And he passed up the one earlier, but that's what he does at 6'10", 11. I mean, he might be 7 feet. Can really stroke it from behind the arc.
Love. His 3 doesn't go. Kenzie trying to get it. Zubcic out in front. 5 points in a row for Tomislav Zubcic, and that's going to force Rob Paternostro into a timeout. 62-85.
Wow, Zubcic looks pretty healthy to me. Like I said, I need to know what he had for breakfast because he was on the injury report. He had a great game here tonight.
Kenzie's frustration you could see there at the end of that. Speaking of frustration, it's finished in Newcastle, Drew. 66-68, Bristol win the game. And to make matters worse for Newcastle, down 1 with 5 seconds to go, Carl Johnson missed 2 free throws.
Be honest, Dan. You like doing this to me, don't you? You've enjoyed this season. I see the look in your eyes.
No pleasure.
You enjoyed delivering me that news.
No, the thing that was real, quite humorous to me is I was pretty excited for you, right? I'm looking at Dan. Me and Dan were both excited, and you were like, "No, guys, look, we've seen this before." You were the one that managed our expectations, brought us back to reality. Drew, after you were right.
You were right. Well, we give you full credit for being right at halftime.
I've seen a lot of Newcastle Eagles fourth quarters, and it usually ends up like that. Down 1, 2 at the line, and miss both. It's just been that type of season.
2 free throws at the end. It was Cole Johnson as well. 2 free throws didn't go down, and that took that game to overtime, which they subsequently lost. So Newcastle Eagles having their struggles continue, and the margins are so small, and they just cannot figure out a way to put everything together.
Huge win for Bristol, though, as they look to stay ahead of Leicester. Here's Whelan, flushed off the three-point line. Love it. It's great defense. Rearranged shot as well. Absolutely fantastic three-point line defense by London.
Unbelievable display on that side of the ball from the Lions. The best defensive team in the league, keeping teams to 71 points. But then on the flip side, they're potent offensively as well. 12 from 25 from the three-point line. And
well, with the current lineup, Menzies is having to guard Zubcic. That is a tough matchup for Aaron Menzies.
I think it's a tough matchup for anyone, but you're right. You're 7'3", and you're ordinarily more of a traditional center where you're used to guarding guys on the block. You're right, when you are against the Zubcic, who was, again, Zubcic, to put it into context again, he's a guy that was cut into the NBA and then played White League Europe, and he's a 6'9", 6'10". I think he's taller than that. He's one of the few basketball players in the world, by the way, that say he's smaller than he actually is. Yeah. But he's so skillful, and he's a mismatch for anyone because if a guard guards him, he's, again, the advantage is taller, but if someone bigger is guarding him, he's so much quicker and versatile, where they'll struggle to match up with him.
Well, Menzies will be happy that Sharma's back in the game, and doubly happy that Zubcic had sat down, because that's a more natural matchup for him. Not an easy one, but a more natural one.
But they sub him out and bring in Sam Decker, who's also 6'9", former NBA player.
I don't think there's any relief on there at the moment, man.
Whelan finally gets one to go. His first triple of the game.
Well, he raising his hands to the sky because he knows that he's a guy that can get threes up in bunches. Today, along with a lot of his teammates, just haven't been able to get it done.
Sharma in the key, rattles out. McKenzie along the baseline. Recycled out to Jackson, who finds a way to the rim.
Beautiful move. Jackson sort of bounced the ball out in front of him and went and chased it down. Good finish.
Decker for three, knocks it down. Yet another three for London. They're 13 for 26 from behind the arc.
And that was a relatively well-contested shot by Zach Jackson, but again, it's that length, that ability for Decker just to elevate over the defender. And a nice finish there with Zach Jackson, who just carried on his work rate. 17 points personal now for him.
Here's Decker, room for another three, and same result.
Talk about a guy who just lets a game come to him. Another shot comes his way, and he just, good pass from Mia Oni, and effortless.
But the unselfishness of this team.
It's a big ooh on the London bench, as they thought Taylor had ripped that one away rather than the foul that's been called.
That's the dangerous thing, I think, about this London team. It looks like they're having fun. The bench is in vocal, their energy's coming from the bench, and the guys on court have all got smiles on their faces, and this essentially is a top of the table clash. Well, sorry, Bristol has to be mentioned too, because Bristol are doing a stellar job, as they've proven tonight.
Yeah, as Nat tried to set me up pre-game, and as I just got on the Bristol Flyers' good side, but I think I saved myself.
Everybody's forgotten you picked them last, Drew.
Thanks for the reminder.
That group chat hasn't forgotten that.
No, group chat hasn't. There's one or two on Twitter who remind him every week as well, I think it's fair to say. There's just a little delay in the game because there's a bit of equipment hanging down from the basket that London are attacking, which has just dropped down. So they've brought a ladder out to sort it out. You can see it's a little bit of wires. I think it's related to the clock above the basket. Somebody just needs to stick it back up.
Well, as long as us TV guys aren't getting the blame for bringing our extra gadgets with us and having equipment dangling down.
definitely nothing to do with us.
Is that from the swishes we've seen on that basket or from the slam dunks we've seen them hanging on?
Could be either or, I think.
But back to your point, and about you can feel this team's vibe here tonight, and they're having fun, but they're having fun playing defense. And when a team is on the same page and they enjoy rotating and helping one another, that's championship DNA right there.
I mean, Dan, you see this all the time as well with the Euro Cup competition. That's the key, you know, there as well. If they can figure out a way to collectively, consistently put in these defensive performances, then we've seen them, you know, against, you know, the top teams in Euro Cup League play within one shot reach of them. Late in game situation. So, you know, this is
the problem they had early in the season in that competition particularly was teams hitting threes on them, and they were giving up looks in a way that they haven't. Leicester have taken 24 today. They've only made 4. A few of them you would say Leicester probably should have made. The rest of them are well challenged, and I think that's the difference between narrow losses and narrow wins at that level. And we've seen the improvement over the course of the season in London's three-point defense in Europe. Sharma with the offensive rebound and putback.
This is excellent for Josh Sharma's confidence as well, because they're going to need him to play a major role now. And he's done that too for his college careers. Last year he was a 10 and a 7 guy, and last year in Poland, good finish there. Nice high finish again from Aaron Menzies again, who's played his role and he's played it well today.
Menzies now 11 points and 7 rebounds in 21 minutes.
Josh Sharma, a guy averaging 12 and 6 last year in Poland's top league. They're going to need him to have more of that go-to dominant role and put those types of numbers on the board tonight. 15 points for him, 6 rebounds.
Substitutions both ways as we look back at that foul. Love, Adekoya and Bowman coming in, and Jackson, Loving sitting down. It could be a sign that Rob Paternoster is saving his stars for another day.
Yeah, I think you might be right, but as we fast forward, these teams have one more matchup in the league, if I'm not mistaken. But we know at some point in the playoffs that they're going to see each other again. And the big question in the Leicester Riders locker room is, what do they need to do differently in order to come out on the other side?
You're not writing Bristol off in a potential semi-final, are you there, Drew?
Look at you. Oops.
Poking the bear,
yeah, he enjoys it. I do
enjoy that bit of it. That's fair to say. And that must have come off Sharma's foot, and it'll be a Leicester ball.
Well, speaking of the big three in Bristol, Leicester and London, none of which are still in trophy play competition. All 3 of those will be watching like us spectators. Adekoya there finds some space in the baseline for the finish.
Yeah, Cheshire and Sheffield fighting it out on Sunday for the right to take on the Gladiators at the Emirates Arena. It's the end of the month now, we're into March. Decker trying to thread the needle. And it's a turnover. Adekoya is going to take the 3. Sharma almost took that into his own basket, trying to get the rebound. And we're inside the final 2. And London taking another big step towards the league title. Leicester were the closest to them by losses, which is always the better way to look at it at the top end of the table. And they've just pushed Leicester back alongside Bristol in terms of the losses. They've also claimed, or will claim, the head-to-head against the Riders, meaning even if Leicester got level, London would still have the higher spot. It is a long, long way back for the champions from here. Only to the rim, and he will convert for a chance at 3.
Well, good to see Mia Oni healthy, and also good to see him being able to express himself on court. This is a guy that got here in mid-November, and this is his first league game. So plagued with injuries, inconsistencies of availability. If they can figure out a way to incorporate his talents in this roster, then they could be onto something.
He's such a tremendous defensive player, and can knock down a few shots as well, all the better.
He's an intelligent player as well, so he played in the Ivy League. So to put that into context, that's the highest academic achieving institution in America. He was Ivy League Player of the Year before getting drafted, 58th in the NBA draft. So again, a good guy, a good defender, and an intelligent basketball player.
Adekoya commits the foul. Decker felt that. He's a big unit, Adekoya.
He is indeed, Dan. You're right. You see Sam Decker just bounce off Jabril Adekoya there.
Looks like the sort of guy that could give you a run for your money on the old bench press.
He probably could.
London bring up the 100 here at the Morningside Arena. And the second one bobbles out. Got 18 and 7. As you say, he let the game come to him, but he still ended up with pretty impressive numbers. Sam Decker, Bowman from behind the arc. And Leicester have missed 23 three-pointers in this game. Stolen away by Love. Love will run it all the way back. Oni will challenge, and the shot clock will be switched up. Well, I was about to say it would be, but Love commits the foul. So London will have to shoot 2 more free throws. I fancy they might have dribbled that one out. Love. I don't think he's querying the call against him. He's querying whether he was fouled before that.
I thought Oni did a great job to challenge that without fouling, actually. And again, it's those little mentality plays that the green's done, but the players are still playing hard, trying to prevent every basket.
Shalawadi knocks them both down. And he's had a great game off the bench as well, by the way. Adekoya loses the ball, and I think London will just dribble this one out. Well, a big game. It was billed out, but really, in truth, it was a dominant performance from the league leaders. From tip to buzzer, they've been in total control of this game, and they have won going away in the end, Dan.
They have, and it's been convincing, isn't it, Dan? You're straight from the first quarter. I think the Leicester Riders knew they were in for a high-tempo, high-intensity game, and it's been the defensive end that just caused the Leicester Riders so many problems. We saw at times, yes, we saw the missed shots, but we saw the inconsistencies and lack of fluidity on the Leicester Riders offense, and that's not something we often see in this building. We're often really complimentary of the way the ball's moving and the creativity of this offense, but against this defense, the best defense in the BBL, may I add, it was just neutralized.
And at the other end of the floor, 5 guys in double figures. It's hard to pick out which one stood out the most, really. There were so many different weapons that London had, and they took full advantage of everything they got.
No, I think you're right, Dan, and even their star guys as well. Sam Decker, again, was real patient. Ruben as well, he was a guy that, again, wasn't so aggressive looking for his shot. They got contributions from everyone. Everyone I see minutes against there who stepped out on court, I feel like played their part in the greater scheme of things, and that was to win a basketball game and put in a positive performance.
Well, it was a very positive performance, and it moves them another step closer to a second trophy this season. They have a comfortable lead at the top of the table now with 23 1 wins. Bristol are just behind them, but it's the games in hand that London have. Let's have a look at the numbers. And the one that leaps off the page, the biggest difference there, they took almost the same number of 3-point shots. London made 10 more than Leicester did.
Ouch, just looking at those numbers there, 4 for 27. And yeah, look, the criticism can be there on the Leicester Riders, but there has to be an immense amount of credit there to the London Lions defence, who made those 3-point shots very difficult.
And we talked about no Kufos, and obviously Zucic slightly injured, but they're rebounding. They dominated as well, London, 49-35.
Yeah, battle of the boards, 49-35. And at times is where you really felt that. You felt like those second, third opportunities really wore the Leicester Riders down. And every position that London Lions have, they have that advantage, 3-4 inches the length, which really comes into play.
And the bench points, it was something Nat and the boys talked about at the top of the show. 33-10, the London winning that one. And Leicester's 10 really came near the end.
Yeah, and it just, it wasn't enough throughout the rest of the game, was it? As you say, Dan, it sort of peaked at the end there, and the London Lions were just able to capitalise on their fast breaks as well. Their defensive pressure led to fast break points as well.
Well, the London Lions with a comfortable win here. They beat Leicester Riders 77-102. Let's go back to Nat and Kieran.
Thanks, Dan. Let's try and break down the defensive performance to begin with from London, because as Dan and Ant were just saying there, this Riders side, one of the most prolific in the business from downtown, yet absolutely shut down tonight. How did the Lions manage to do that so effectively?
Well, what they did was they closed out, first and foremost, and they tried to force things inside. But for once, I've never seen Leicester Riders be so shook. Usually they take really good shots. They started to rush things. They did miss a lot of good open looks, but at the same time they were forcing a little bit tonight, which I'm not used to seeing.
It becomes self-perpetuating, doesn't it? The more they're getting stifled, the more they're forcing it, the more that tilt occurred. Brilliant performance all round from the London Lions. A number of key players we looked at to name as MVP, but we've gone with Josh Sharma. Excellent performance from him, and he's courtside now with Drew.
Josh coming in, this was billed as the game for the title race. What was your mindset coming into the game today?
Huh?
Your mindset coming into the game today?
I mean, yeah, just coming off the national team break. We were just trying to, get back into the rhythm of things, keep up our momentum after our win in Bristol before break. We just came in here trying to execute our principles and do what we could.
And talk about that defensive performance. What was the game plan coming into the game? The defensive performance.
Defensively, we were great. I think we held them to, 77 points is a little more than I think we wanted to. But when we put up 100, we let up some. But yeah, I think we definitely can do better on the defensive end. But I think we did a pretty good job overall.
And finally, with Kufis out domestically for the rest of the season, what's your role for this team?
Yeah, I think especially domestically, I definitely increased in minutes, as you can see today, especially with Zuba not 100% and not everyone back. But I think just for the rest of the season, you'll just be seeing a lot more of me domestically. So.
Great performance. Thanks for your time, Josh. Great win.
Thank you. Appreciate that, guys.
Josh had 17 points. That was the same as Ruban, one less than Sam Decker, but it was his defensive impact that was particularly key for you tonight, Kieran.
Yeah, I just love, he's so athletic, so long, but you see him playing above the rim at both ends of the court. But the thing that amazes me is his touch. He's being a lot bit more efficient. We always talk about the dunks, but he's been really efficient with his finishing, and he changes so many shots. He didn't get so many blocks tonight, but changing the shot make it really difficult for the Leicester Riders.
As we were watching the game, you were leaning into me and saying he's one of the most improved players this season. How so?
Yeah, I just think he's got a lot more calm around the basket. He's not the back to the basket making big post moves. He's a lot more a dynamic big, but his soft touch, I think he's rubbing off. Look at Kupos. Anytime he gets round the basket, I think he's going to finish, and Sharma's getting to that point.
He was our MVP. Sam Decker had a big game as well. He was close in that running, as he normally is, right? Also, Vojta Huruban was a big performance from him as well. So a lot to break down, a lot, I'm sure, for Ryan Schmidt, the Lions head coach, to be happy about. Let's look at Ruban's performance. 17 points, and he was perfect from, almost perfect rather, from downtown, 3 or 4.
He's just so efficient, you know, he doesn't force anything. You know, I always say the prototypical European player can shoot the ball. Scotty's shot's so good, they have to close out on him. You know, he doesn't really force much, but yeah, it's just really good to see him getting in the rhythm. You know, he's averaging 10 a game, had a bigger game tonight, and I expect more from him, especially domestically going forward.
We talk about these big plays. There were so many moments in this game when the Riders were trying to get a run together. They hit an important bucket, and straight down the other end, whether it's Voita, whether it's Sam Dekker, Sharma, hitting back straight away, really clutch.
And I think Rob will be disappointed with that tonight. I think the Riders had to earn absolutely everything. You know, there was no easy baskets, and then straight away the Lions would come down and get a quick, easy look. And I think that's quite disappointing when you're trying to protect home court. You're fighting for a chance to stay in this title race. Watching London score too many easy baskets tonight.
Disappointing for Rob Paternostro, pleasing, of course, for Coach Ryan Schmidt, who is courtside now with Drew.
Coach, in our conversation this week, you talked about continuity and consistency was key down the final stretch. After that performance, expand on that for us.
I'm really happy with how we played. Obviously, I think tonight we took a huge step in the right direction from a growth standpoint. And again, I think you just nailed it, the consistency, right? The guys were just talking about every time that they kind of would hurt us on the offensive end. I thought we did a really good job of playing with poise and kind of getting valued shots on the other end, where a lot of times in the past, month, 6 weeks, that's where we kind of would let teams go on runs. We'd get scored on, then we'd come down and take either quick, ill-advised ones, or we'd turn the ball over. So, again, really happy with our performance tonight on both ends, but to me, that really stood out.
And what does a win like this in an environment like this on the road against the league champs say about your guys?
I think anytime you can come on the road and beat these guys in here and keep the fans a little quiet, which was nice. It was, I thought, again, it was a big statement game for our guys. I think we won the game, the cup final, but there was a lot of things we wanted to clean up. And again, we know every time we play these guys, they're going to be prepared, they're going to be up for the game. But I thought our guys stepped up to the challenge and did a really good job tonight.
And Coach, your demeanor, you're always so cool and collected. Have you felt any type of pressure with all the expectations that lie on your ball club?
Not really. I mean, I think for, my position in this, for this job, it really has to be a day by day. I know it's going to be tough. We talked about, one thing you don't have is time when you're trying to put something like this together. And, the games come fast and furious, but we knew obviously we wanted to be playing our best game or best basketball in March. September and October was going to be a little shaky at times, and it was. But again, to the guys' credit, they come in every single day. These guys are ultimate professionals. And again, I'm just proud of our group tonight.
Coach, a big statement win.
Right.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Drew.
Drew Lasker never pays us those kind of compliments, does he?
Definitely not.
I'm going to have words with him after. Is this the title race done tonight, do you think?
Still Bristol. Bristol are still in the mix. They're fighting hard, but, honestly, London, they're just exceptional. I expect, I see injuries, players leaving, things happening. You just expect, okay, hopefully they'll just break down, but they just keep going and getting stronger game by game.
And a huge amount of credit goes to that man. Ryan Schmidt has had a superb season so far. There is still a lot to play for in the league, a lot to play for, of course, with the trophy and the playoffs coming up, which means that the Leicester Riders still have a lot to play for this season, because they're going to be right in the thick of it, of course, a high seed in those playoffs, accentuating the positives. Kimball McKenzie, who has been in brilliant form all season long, and as we said at the half, recent call up to Team GB as well, the BBL Player of the Month, and he showed us why tonight.
Yeah, and it's great to see him after a break with international duties to come back strong against a great defensive unit in London Lions and still play at a very high level. It's great to see Kimball McKenzie going strength to strength each game.
We're trying to focus on the positives for the Leicester Riders. It's always difficult losing a game of this significance. Always difficult to hear from Rob Paternostro, given he's such a great competitor when his team has lost. Let's hear from him now. He's with Drew.
Coach, pre-game, you talked about the need of making shots. 4 for 27 behind a 3, 15 for 22 from the free throw line. Is that more of an aberration from you offensively or more about the London Lions defense?
Well, I thought their defense was exceptional tonight. The physicality is a different level. When you play this team, holding longer, moving longer. The rotations were awesome tonight. I thought defensively they were excellent. But yeah, I thought we missed some opportunities, especially in that first half. I thought the first half we had some opportunities we didn't capitalize. And against them, you're going to have to do that.
And a coach always has to be careful with his words. When you walk in the locker room, what will be your message to the team?
Yeah, we got to learn from it. We got to play at that physicality that they play. We got to find a way to be able to play that way too. But we got to forget about it. Long way to go. I think that, we got 13 league games left, so we'll learn from it, and then, we'll come back and we'll play 2 games next week.
Thanks for your time,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Upbeat, Rob Paternostro there, and still a lot to play for him. Now, play of the day. There were a few on the shortlist. You went with this beauty, Kieran.
Yeah, I've been away for a month. I haven't been able to say this word a lot, so I'm going to have to bring it back out again. That play there was absolutely disgusting.
The third time of the show you've dropped it.
I have to catch up, get my quote up.
All right, expect you have to. Aaron Best there with the accolade, and we might well see him on our BBL Plays of the Week next week. More of where we're going to be in a moment. First up, though, let's wrap up a bit of business around the rest of the league. And this was an absolute thriller. The Flyers, well, you said they are still technically in title contention. They're certainly going to be pleased that they turned the tables on Newcastle, who at one point had a 9-point lead against them. And that one went to the death. And Newcastle had a shot at taking the lead right at the end.
You know what? For Drew Lasker, that must be heartbreaking. I would hate to be in that situation.
I'm not sure we're going to get much out of him when we're wrapped here today. Confirmation the Lions turn up against the Leicester Riders to cement their position at the top of the table. This is what it means. London now moving to 21-2 in the win-loss column. A 10-point lead over the reigning champions Leicester. Surely that is going to be enough to cement the league, but who knows? Twists and turns could still be very apparent this season. As we look at the rest of the BBL this weekend, Caledonia in action against Surrey. The Gladiators, of course, into the BBL Trophy final. Who they'll be facing will get determined on Sunday, as well as the reigning trophy champions Cheshire take on the Sheffield Sharks, who've been in a terrible run of form, although a big bounce-back performance from them last Friday night. So that is keenly poised. The Flyers, Giants, Lions, Caledonia, the other games in the championship. So a busy schedule for your Caledonia Gladiators, but I'm not so worried about the league, although they're in great form there. I want to know how you feel about their chances in the BBL Trophy final, and firstly the semi-final. Very tight game, that one, isn't it? Sheffield, if we'd had this conversation 2 weeks ago, Cheshire would have been, I think, maybe clear favourites. Now it's all to play for.
All to play for, and you know what? Both teams playing some good basketball at this moment in time. That'll be a thriller.
Are you going to make a pick?
I'm going to go with... I can't. I really can't. I'm just thinking.
Right
I was going to go against Mike Tuck, but so I'm going to hold my tongue for now.
Who's the harder matchup for Caledonia in the final, do you think?
You know what? It's final play. I would say that Sheffield would be the better option for the Gladiators. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Sorry, Mike. Okay. Just because of the lack of scoring at times. But they look so different in the last game, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, dangerous entity they are. All right, well, we will find out, of course, this weekend who will face Caledonia in the final. That final, one of a number of big games coming up for you right here on Sky Sports.
It's showtime.
Fletcher strings it, long two.
Let's go Gladiators.
Gets into the key, kicks out, Onwas, room for three, and he hits.
The second silverware of the season to be decided.
McKenzie gets to the rim and one, Kimball McKenzie.
Big month of action coming your way then here on Sky Sports, continuing with the BBL Championship. We're in Manchester next Friday as the Lions continue their run for the title, but the Giants, a freewheeling offense. How about that? What a battle that's going to be. This brilliant Lions defense up against Manchester's offense. 7:30 Sky Sports action, and always, as always, Sky Sports YouTube. Looking forward to that one It's been a big night for the London Lions. Once again, fine, like we're saying that a lot this season. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in Manchester next Friday night. Bye for now.